Welcome everybody to the second ever episode of my show, Alameda Views. This is a weekly show on YouTube, about 15 to 20 minutes long, and it's a fun show. It's exciting, it's a laid back show. It's my 15 to 20 minutes out of the week to say whatever the hell I want to say, because on Instagram, on Twitter, I get so much comments, so much all that good stuff. But this is my time, my damn show. I say whatever the hell I want to say. That just goes back to last week, how I said my goal with this show is to trigger as many of you guys as possible. That's pretty much the goal. I'm going to say controversial stuff. I'm going to say debatable stuff. But the whole point of it is to see what you guys are thinking. And the only way to see that is if you guys comment down below, or you can reach me on Twitter at DanielAlameda11. Also, if you guys aren't already following the Right Way Sports Network, follow us everywhere. We have podcasts, we have a website, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all that good stuff. Make sure you guys are following us on every single platform. But without much further ado, guys, I'm excited for this episode. I have a couple big time debates you guys want to see and you do not want to miss. So, without much further ado, let's get right into the second ever episode of Alameda Views. The first topic we're going to talk about is something I've been seeing all over Twitter, all over Instagram, and it's the 2020 NFL MVP race. And the reason I want to talk about this is you guys need to know the facts behind the MVP race. And the facts are it may be an individual award because it's a single player winning an award, but it's also a team award. You're not going to win the award if your team is doing terrible. You're not going to win the award if you're having a great season, but you're not helping your team, and vice versa. You're not going to win the award if you have a great team, but you're only a so-so player. Look at the last year, Jimmy Garoppolo for the 49ers. They were the number one team in the NFL, but Jimmy Garoppolo was only a middle-of-the-road quarterback, so that's why he didn't win the MVP. The reason I brought this up is because I'm leaving two big-time names out of this list for those exact reasons. Aaron Rodgers, because I do not agree with the Packers having more than 11 wins this year, and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is an exceptional quarterback in this league, but I just don't believe in the Texans winning more than 11 games this year. So that is why I'm leaving him completely off of this list. So before I trigger any of you guys, let's get right into it. Number one, who else? Patrick Mahomes. He's the best player on the best team. He's the best player in the NFL, hands down, so there's no reason I can't put him here at number one. They're returning a ton of talent, so there's no reason to see a major regression below 10 wins. So if he's the best player on a contender, there's no reason for me not to put him at number one. Number two, Lamar Jackson. This one, some of you guys may want him lower because it's hard for a player to win this award back-to-back. But when you look at the Ravens roster, they're poised for another exceptional year. Lamar Jackson, I understand teams may be catching up with the Ravens offensive system, but the talent they have on that team warrants him being number two on this list. Number three, here's where we get going. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is my number three MVP candidate. Hear me out. Last year, he was an MVP candidate. He was top 5, even top 3 at some time, because that's when the Cowboys were winning. That's when they had a decent record. But the reason he fell off is because the Cowboys were 8-8. That was the only reason he wasn't considered in the top 5 at the end of the year, because of the Cowboys' record. But now we know that they're going to have an improved year. They lost some piece on defense, but their offense is going to be great. They did lose Travis Frederick, their center, but they added CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver, and that leads me to believe that they're going to have an even better offense than last year's number one ranked team in total offensive yards. So Dak Prescott, if the Cowboys, I believe that they can win 11 games. I feel like they're much improved on offense. If they win 11 plus games, there's no reason Dak Prescott can't be in this conversation. Number 4, Russell Wilson, and I know some of you guys may be saying he's higher, should be higher, but listen, Russell Wilson is my number 2 player in the NFL. He's right. Some people say there's a huge gap between him and Patrick Mahomes. I don't think so. He's just as talented as Patrick Mahomes. I have him a little bit less than Patrick Mahomes, but this ranking has much more to do with the Seattle Seahawks. Last year, they had a great record in one-score games. I don't see them repeating in that. And there's a lot of questions on their defense. Does Jadeveon Clowney return to the team? What happens with Quinton Dunbar, who just got arrested? There's a lot of questions with that defense, and I don't trust them to win. And they're in a tough division. They're playing against the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. And all of that leads me to believe that the Seahawks won't win more than 12 games. So that is why Russell Wilson's a little bit lower on the ranking. Number 5, I have Tom Brady, the GOAT. A lot of people may be mad about this. I see so much hate on the Buccaneers saying, oh, they're being overrated. They can't jump up after one season. The Buccaneers have a talented team. They have a talented defense. They have a young secondary. Their offensive line improved. It's a middle-of-the-road pack, or it's a middle-of-the-road unit, but it's much improved. And Tom Brady finally has weapons. Last year with the Patriots, so many people... Hold on, let me stop. So many people call Tom Brady washed. He is not washed. Tom Brady, I'm a Patriots fan, so I understand. I see it firsthand. I did an in-depth film review on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Last year, they had a mediocre offensive line. But even if you want to look past that, it was the weapons. Tom Brady's so used to having a repertoire with his receivers. Guys being quick on routes. Guys, it's timing. That's all it is with Tom Brady. And the weapons he had did not perform up to par. He had his ever safe Julian Edelman, but besides that, no one performed up to Tom Brady standards. Now he's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Robert Gronkowski. The list goes on. That warrants Tom Brady being number 5 overall in the MVP ranking. Number 6, I have Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, I understand there may be issues, people not trusting the Eagles as a whole, people not trusting his injury history, but Carson Wentz is an MVP caliber talent. Hands down, he's one of my favorite players in the NFL. I think he's very underrated, very overhated because of his injuries and the lack of postseason success. But when he's given the chance, he is talented, and I feel like they improved their offensive weapons a little bit. Their offensive line's it's top 5 in the league, but give him another chance, give him another year, and I think Carson Wentz deserves this number 6 overall ranking. Number 7, I have Drew Brees from the New Orleans Saints, and some of you may be coming from my head saying, oh, Drew Brees is top 5 every year. Drew Brees is this. Drew Brees is that. For those of you who know me, know I believe Drew Brees is overrated. 100% Drew Brees is overrated because how do you have one Super Bowl appearance in 14 years? Every year it seems like the Saints are top 5 in the league. Every year it seems like they're competing. Every year before the season starts, the Saints are top in the league because of the talent they have. I think he's overrated, but he is still number 6 because of the amount of talent they have. I just have the other 5 above him. There's no reason for him being this low. It's just I believe in the other 6, actually, ahead of him. Number 8, Drew Lock from the Denver Broncos. I'm going to get into the Broncos more later. I have a segment completely on them, but Drew Lock has an offensive group around him that's going to be far better than what he had last year. He played in 5 games last year. They were 4-1 in those 5 games. So if he was 4-1 with that type of offensive group, I think he's going to have much more success this year. I'm not going to go into the defense right now, but he added Jerry Jeudy. They added KJ Hamler. They added Melvin Gordon. They have weapons all over that offense, and I believe the second-year quarterback trend of how they have faced major improvement in their second year, I believe Drew Lock can follow that trend. That is why he is at number 8 for me. I'm a big Drew Lock fan. I've been since last year. Now they gave him a chance with this offense of weapons. They show they have trust in him, and this is their year. This is a big-time year for them, and I'll get into the Broncos more later. Number 9, Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. A lot of this one, I'm confident in him being top 10. Because listen, like I said at the beginning of this, it's not only an individual award, this is a team award. And your team has to have success for you even to be considered in this race. And I believe that the Buffalo Bills are going to be a contender this year. I believe that they're going to win 11, 12, 13 games this year. And if they're doing that, Josh Allen has a chance to win MVP. Last year, people love to say he's inaccurate. He actually improved his middle of the field and short-term accuracy. But at the same time, last year, his deep accuracy wasn't there. But listen, the thing I love most about Drew Lock is people say he's a gunslinger. He only threw an interception 9 times last year. He was safe with the ball. He was conservative. He used his legs well. And I believe if the Bills are winning 12 games, Josh Allen has a great chance to be considered in the MVP race. Number 10, I know I'm leaving a ton of guys out, so this is huge right here. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he's, like I said, it's the second-year quarterback trend. Much improved offense. You're returning Kenyon Drake, who was a stud out the backfield. DeAndre Hopkins, we already know. We won't get into that. We know how good of a weapon DeAndre Hopkins is. And we know they didn't improve the offensive line that much. They added Josh Jones at the right tackle position in the draft. But the offensive line isn't a necessity in the Arizona Cardinals offense because The way they run their offense is it's spread. It's a spread scheme. It's to throw the ball quick. Offensive line isn't a priority in the offense, so you can get by with a mediocre middle-of-the-road offensive line. So Kyler Murray, if he can show improvement in the second year with Cliff Kingsbury, sorry, botched that, Cliff Kingsbury, I think he has a great chance to win MVP. But I have him at number 10, whereas other people have him in the top 5 because they're in a tough division. I would much rather take Russell Wilson over Kyler Murray because of the team. I trust the Seahawks. I don't know if I trust the Cardinals yet. That is why he's lower on the ranking, because of that tough division. I left some guys out. I know Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. I'm confident in them because of their team. But 3 guys that could potentially be in the running: Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, and Baker Mayfield. I would not be surprised if I saw those 3 guys in the running for MVP. But I believe in the other 10 far more than those 3 guys. So those were my MVP rankings. Let's get into the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos will be a much improved team in 2021 because of their defense. I said it, because of their defense, not their offense. I hate so many fans hyping them up because of their offense. Listen, they have weapons all over the place. Second year Drew Lock, it's a lot to get excited about. But I am so damn excited about this defense. I watched last year, I predicted, for those of you who don't know, I predicted the Broncos to go 10-6 last year, make the playoffs. Obviously, it didn't happen. But I saw so much improvement in the Broncos team. First off, let me start. Head coach Vic Fangio. He is a defensive mastermind. He headlined the Chicago Bears defense when they were number 1 in the league with Khalil Mack. He transferred over. Last year was his first year with the Broncos. There was a lot of bumps in the road, such as the first 4 games. This was a shocker. The first 4 games of last year, they did not have a single turnover. Not one. Not a single turnover. All first 4 games. That was tough for me because they had potential last year. 100% they had potential. They were 7-9. Easily could have been 9-7. But it was because of the rocky start at the beginning of the year. Last year, before the season started, Bradley Chubb, their star outside linebacker, got hurt, tore his ACL. So he was out. Last year, Kareem Jackson didn't play that much. Bryce Callahan didn't play that much, who was their corner. And on this defense, only thing you lost was Chris Harris at cornerback. You lost him. He's a stud cornerback. But you also brought in A.J. Bouye from the Jacksonville Jaguars. You brought in Jarrell Casey at the defensive line from the Tennessee Titans. This defense, talent-wise, they're in a way better place than they were last year, but that's not even what I'm excited about. I'm excited about another year with Vic Fangio. Last year, at the end of the year, their defense absolutely turned it on. They were hard-hitting. They were one of the top 10 defenses in the league the last second half of the year. But now they have a full year. They have a full offseason with Vic Fangio. You have improved talent. You have your star outside linebacker returning. You still have Von Miller. I'm in love with the Denver Broncos defense. I am absolutely in love. And couple that with their offense. We know the much improved offense. This team has the looks of a much improved team. And like I said, I just get irritated when people look at their offense. You guys really need to look at their defense. It's going to be top 10 in the league, guaranteed. For those of you guys who don't know, here at the Right Way Sports Network, we have a couple analysts who are going to be starting our 2021 NFL draft coverage. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be evaluating all the top 300 prospects. We're going to be putting our pros and cons. We're going to be doing our top 10 quarterbacks, our top 10 running backs, all that good stuff. So I just started my evaluations on quarterbacks, right? I've been posting them on Twitter. You guys can follow me on Twitter at DanielAlameda11. I post all of them. The biggest thing I want to talk about is Justin Fields is overrated. Justin Fields is overrated as a quarterback prospect, and hear me out. Listen, from the evaluation I did, I watched 4 full games, and I don't think he's a first-round prospect. I don't, because, listen, first off, I want to compare Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and show you why Trevor Lawrence is a far better prospect. But Justin Fields, to me, the biggest thing he lacks is anticipation. There's many instances on film where he'd be half a second late. He'd be a quarter of a second late. It'd be almost an interception, almost a drop pass, almost a catch, almost. That does not cut it in the NFL. Being half a second late in college means you're going to be intercepted every damn time in the NFL. And by no means whatsoever am I saying he's a terrible prospect. I'm just saying he's overrated. Throwing for 41 touchdowns and 3 interceptions makes you seem like a god. People are going to push him up draft boards. People are going to say he's a top 5 pick. But when I looked at every one of those touchdowns, there was a compilation. I'll put the link in the bio. There's a compilation of every touchdown he threw. I counted 5. That's being nice. I counted 5 that were a credit to him. 5 that were tough throws, and that is being nice. The rest were wide open throws to his receiver, or a receiver made an excellent grab that shouldn't have even been caught. 5 of his 41 touchdowns, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So I went back and watched his best chance to prove me wrong, his semifinals game against Clemson, and he threw 2 interceptions. Easily could have been 4, but he threw 2 interceptions. And I was like, Justin Fields just isn't cutting it for me. He's a cool prospect. Don't get me wrong. He's a cool prospect, but he lacks anticipation, and he just wasn't as good of a quarterback as people were hyping him up to be. And let's get into Trevor Lawrence. The biggest comparison with them, anticipation. Trevor Lawrence, as a true freshman against Alabama, he was throwing with anticipation. He was throwing before the receivers turned their heads. He had everything. He was throwing the tight window throws with his velocity, because you know the cannon he has for an arm, and his pocket presence. Trevor Lawrence has a tendency to step up into the pocket. He doesn't give a damn who's coming from. Steps up into the pocket and fires an absolute rocket. That is translatable to the NFL. If you can step up into the pocket in college, you can be successful in the NFL. He's not a perfect prospect by any means, but I'll get into that another day. All I want to say is Justin Fields is overrated as a prospect. All right, now it is time for the GOAT debate. And before I get into the actual LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, I want to say something. I don't believe that there should be a GOAT debate, because it is too damn difficult to compare guys from different eras. It is difficult, it is almost impossible to compare LeBron James and Michael Jordan, Steph Curry and Magic Johnson, Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen, because they're from different eras. It's different play styles. It is different circumstances. So you can't really compare these guys, because there's so many different variables that they each had to play with. And that's why I get irritated when people say, oh, 2000 guys can't hang with the 90s guys, or vice versa. But let's say it right here, right now. Let's pour salt in the wound, clean it out, all that good stuff. LeBron James is the GOAT. LeBron James is the GOAT. And I know it's going to trigger some people, but hear me out. LeBron James is my GOAT because what he does doesn't show up on the stat sheet, man. I'm not going to take anything away from Jordan. Jordan was a killer. Let me praise him. He was a killer. He was a one-on-one scorer. If you said something bad, he will go and put 40 on your head the next night, 50 on your head. Playoffs, he's 6-0 in the finals. He's all that good stuff. We're seeing in the Last Dance documentary, he's a killer. He's such a great player one-on-one. But LeBron James, what I love about LeBron James is what he does doesn't show up on the stat sheet. 2 times he's led teams to the finals that had mediocre players. He was by far the best player in his team, leading a bunch of middle-of-the-road players to an NBA Finals. We saw in 2018, he led a team that was not even good enough to be in the finals. He led them to the finals. LeBron James, what he does, his play style is completely different than Jordan. Jordan's a one-on-one go-getter scorer. LeBron James, while he does that in the playoffs, while he turns it on in the playoffs, he makes his teammates better. This right here is no debate. LeBron James makes his teammates way better than what Michael Jordan does. You can honestly argue that Michael Jordan doesn't even make his teammates better on the court. You can argue that, but we will save that for another day. That is what I have against Michael Jordan in this debate. And also, LeBron James isn't done. He's not done, so you can't really say, oh, Jordan's ahead by a mile, when LeBron James his career's not even finished. We don't know if he wins 3 more championships. We don't know if he keeps on playing at this level he's playing at right now, an MVP caliber level. So really the biggest argument you have for Michael Jordan over LeBron is he's a better one-on-one scorer. He has that mindset, and he has 6 rings to LeBron's 3. But besides that, what LeBron James does, that he doesn't show up on the stat sheet, that is why he is my GOAT over Michael Jordan. that was a very controversial topic, and if you guys ever want to say something to me, ever want to say anything, go comment down below. And like I said, that is why I put in this final segment, Ask Daniel, for this exact reason. Ask Daniel, for those of you who don't know, is a segment in my show where you guys have a voice. You guys have a chance to ask me any question, and the rules are simple. Go to my Twitter at DanielAlameda11. I'll put it right here. Ask me a question and just do hashtag Ask Daniel. You can go do it right now. Very simple. If you want to be featured on the show and get a shout out on Instagram, that's all you have to do. But let's get right into this week's episode, or this week's segment of Ask Daniel. The first question is by Pranav, and his question is, if the NBA season resumes and he is cleared, should Kevin Durant rush his comeback or wait till the start of next season and be 100%? And also, are they a threat to the Bucks? First off, he should not rush into this year. Hands down, he should not, because the biggest reason is Kyrie Irving's already out for the year with a shoulder injury. So there's no reason. It is too early, too quick to make a whole bunch of chemistry with your team in the span of a month and win a championship. So that should answer your question about competing with the Bucks this year. But next year, I think that the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are the favorites over the Milwaukee Bucks. His second question is, do you believe that Josh Allen can lead the Bills to a Super Bowl victory? Yes. Yes, I do. And the only reason I believe in that is look at last year. Look at the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, led the 49ers within 6 minutes of a Super Bowl victory. So if he can do it, Josh Allen can, because he has great surroundings, good offensive line, solid weapons. He has a great head coach and a good defense. So in short, I would say yes, he can lead the Bills to a Super Bowl. The third question is by Sean, and he says, what do you think the standings of the NFC West will be at the end of next season? I'm confident in the winner, and that will be the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm confident in the loser, and that will be the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams roster just does not look up to par. Only the Seahawks and the Cardinals could flip-flop, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks because I know Russell Wilson, I know Pete Carroll, and I know they're always competitive even when they don't have a good roster. The Cardinals can easily jump them, but I think the Cardinals are a year away. I think they have a little bit of inconsistency this year, and I think they go around 8-8, 9-7. Number 4 is by Ali. Which dish do you know how to cook best? Interesting question, but hands down, my carne asada quesadillas with a little bit of salsa and a little bit of cilantro on top. Hands down. And for the final question of this week's segment of Ask Daniel is by Adrian, of course. Do you think the NBA season will come back soon? No, it's not. Listen. I'm not a pessimist. I'm actually an optimist. But the earliest it will come back is by early July, because it takes time to put out protocols. It takes time to come up with all this stuff, open the facilities, and the earliest you should hope for is early July. But that was a great segment. I loved it. This was a great show. It went a little bit longer than expected, but I love this controversial. Like I said, if you guys have any debates you guys want to do, any comments, comment them down below. You know where to reach me on Twitter. And like I said, guys, great episode. Stay tuned for next week. I got a lot planned for next week. We are going to go through our power rankings and the most improved teams of the NFL. But like I said, guys, there is only one way, and that is the right way. Have a good night, everybody.